live. We'll see how this holds up. That's where it uses. I guess it uses the cover for the thumbnail. My bad. Sorry. All right, we will see how many people joined this chat tonight. Oh God, no. Cool. Stay connected here for a bit and we'll see if anybody joins here tonight. God. Oh, hey, Chili Dog. Good to see you, man. Oh, I'm doing just fine, man. This week has been a lot better for me than last week was, personally, to be honest. Last week was just a whirlwind of all kinds of emotions and craziness last week. So it was good that this week was a little bit more chill, you know? A little more chill. It was a lot better. And right now I'm in Fort Worth right now, and I'll be heading back home again tomorrow. I got one more load to take out of Grand Prairie to New Braunfels, and then from New Braunfels I go back home for my reset or whatever. And so luckily it looks like it's gonna work out where I'll probably get home tomorrow around midday Saturday. So I mean, I'll pretty much have a weekend, for the most part, because I won't have to go back to work till Monday. So it'd be kind of a quick weekend, but it's all good. It's nice when it works out that way. But yeah, you're right, man. Like the craziness does come in packages, man. Like it comes at the most, and sometimes it'll come at the most inopportune times, where you're already kind of on edge about things, and then that craziness just gets more like, things manifest, and then you find your outlet, right? You feel good about it, and then something else happens and it triggers it right back again. And that's how last week felt for me. Like last week it felt so good, or I felt so like anxious when I got home last week, and then I started to feel good, and then I got extremely anxious again, and it just stayed like that for most of the week. And it wasn't until the end of the weekend where I was able to kind of get back to myself again. And I think a lot of that had to do with going and picking up the new family dog. We picked up a little miniature Dachshund, 8 week old little baby, and she's so freaking cute, man. Like she's so cute. I have video of us picking her up, me and my parents. And so I haven't edited it yet, but I was thinking about editing it a little bit and then putting it on the channel just as a special episode, welcoming Lexi to the family. And so, but after I got back from that weekend, I felt okay. There we go. Looks like we're back up. All right. Sorry about that, guys. The connection out here where I'm at is. It's good, but I don't know if it's going to be stable. That's why I'm probably not going to do this for that long tonight. I'll do it as long as I can. But I should be back now. Should be back now. I don't know if you're still here, Chili Dog, or I don't know if Big Sweezy's still here. I don't know who's still here after I left for a second. Okay, cool. Yeah, I do. I plan on posting it up. I thought that would be kind of cool. So you can see the moment that my mom picks up the dog. My mom we get the dog. It was a really, really nice moment. But it really helped. That was a good serotonin boost over the weekend. So I was able to come back to work, get after it, and I had a good week of work. I mean, I still have one more day left, but hopefully it's the rest of it tomorrow goes well, and then I can go home and enjoy my home time for a little bit. But it felt a lot better than what I did last week. I'll tell you that much. Big Sweezy, if you're still here, I'm not sure if you are or not, but I'm not at CFI anymore. I left CFI at the beginning of January, so I have no idea what's going on over there since I left. I do know that before I had left, that it did seem like things were slowing down a lot there at CFI. I don't know if it had to do with the changes going on with Heartland Express or anything like that. I could be wrong, but it just seemed like things were really, really slowing down over there at CFI, and that was one of the biggest reasons why I decided to leave. I just, they weren't gonna match my pay with what a lot of these other companies were willing to give me, and the load board was just kind of wonky at that time, and I wasn't willing to wait to see if it was going to build back up again. Other than that, I really didn't hate anything from CFI. CFI, for the most part, for that first year, I got everything I needed to get out of CFI, and they gave me everything that I needed to continue with my career in whatever direction I decide to go in going forward, whether it be staying out here OTR or going local, which I'm still in the middle of contemplating all of my options at this point on what I want to do next. Kind of open to anything, but weighing some options and going from there. But as far as CFI is concerned, I'm not sure. Oh, hey, Chili Dog, thanks for stopping by for a minute. Appreciate you as always. We'll talk to you later, man. But yeah, my time with CFI was pretty good for the most part. I mean, like I said, I think I got everything I needed to get out of CFI, and then when they couldn't really offer me anything better, I decided to go ahead and peace out and move on. And now, after getting some time under my belt and stuff like that, my options are pretty much wide open here at this point. So I got a lot of different directions that I can take. So I'm looking forward to all of that. We'll see how it goes. I've thought about that too in going tanker. I just don't know if I want to do that yet. I'm still contemplating those kinds of options too, like going tanker and whatnot. I just don't know if I'm ready to do that yet. Hey Marky, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you back. But I'm not sure if I want to do that yet. If I want to get my hazmat and if I want to get a tanker license yet. I don't know if I want to do all that just yet. I am finding out after continuously looking at all the options available out here and stuff like that yeah, obviously going looking at local options means that most of these local jobs, it seems like, dude, like they want you to work for peanuts, man. Like I value myself a little high. I don't try to overvalue myself, but at the same time, it's like, dude, like I'm not gonna work for $16 or $17 an hour. I say that, right? I say that, and that's technically what we were doing at CFI. If you put it in perspective, we were working for about $16, $17 an hour. When you put all the hours that you worked and the mileage that we were getting paid at CFI, it does kind of translate over to about $16 to $17 an hour there in your first year at CFI. So, I mean, I guess what would be the difference, right? I don't know, but at the same time, I also feel like, ooh, man, like, I don't know, like I look at some of these jobs and I'm like, I don't understand how these pay scales in this industry work, like how they work. And I mean, there's money to be made out here, but God, like you have to put in so much time in order to make it, in my opinion. these companies want you to work, 60 to 65 hours a week, and they don't want to pay you overtime and stuff like that. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, if I'm an hourly employee, as soon as I get over 40, that should mean that I should be overtime, right? Because that's how that should work. But a lot of these companies aren't like that. Trucking, I don't know what it is about the trucking industry, but it allows them to get away with it, I guess, or be able to get around those kinds of things. And so it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of contemplating all these different things. Working by the mile is not so bad, but I mean, depending on the day and what you're doing, you may not be able to put down the miles. So I don't know. I think getting paid hourly would at least help with knowing that no matter what, as long as you work your 12 hours a day or whatever it is, you're going to get paid those 12 hours a day, like what you were promised, and you're not going to have to worry about that. Versus mileage, you might work 12 hours in a day, but because of traffic or loading times or whatever, you may not get what you were hoping to get out of those 12 hours, right? So I guess there's a plus and a minus to each side of it. But I do feel like out here, unless you find those like real sweet jobs and stuff like that, it just seems like a lot of these companies try to hose us, man, out here, and they really try to undervalue what we do out here. And that's one of the things that I don't like about this industry. Now, maybe it's just because I haven't been out here long enough, and maybe that's part of the problem, but I feel like we're extremely undervalued out here. And we're still a vital part of this country, right? I mean, truck drivers and whatnot, like, I mean, we still keep this country moving. And yet it seems like we're extremely undervalued out here in comparison to some other professions out there. Not to say that I'm not making decent money out here, but for what we do and what we have to put up with every single day, I feel like, wow, like I know that there's other jobs and stuff out there that are that are high stress and stuff like that too, like doctors and all of that. And there's plenty of other jobs that have a bunch of stressors and stuff like that. But I mean, every day that we're out here in this truck, I feel like if you want to put it in perspective, right? Every day that you sit in this truck and you drive it somewhere, you run the risk of something happening. Now, it's your goal as a good truck driver to keep and prevent those kinds of things from being able to happen. But sometimes you can't stop the inevitable from happening, right? Because you can only control what you can. You can't control what other people do. So I feel like every time you put your hand behind this, behind the wheel, you are running that risk that it could be the last time you do this, right? So you would think that would be the value of sitting in this thing, of putting yourself through that hell, right? I don't want to say hell, but that stress, that of knowing that every single day you have to do this job almost perfect, or that's it. The time you decide to lax, or the one time you decide to not pay attention could be the last time, and then that's it, And for a lot of other jobs and professions, it's not like that, you might make a mistake and be like, oh shit, well, you come back the next day or whatever, right? And here, one mistake could be the very last one that you make. So I mean, that's just, and then there's so much like against us out here too. I mean, any little thing can put you out of service or put your license in jeopardy and whatnot. And it's like, dude, like, that's why I feel like we're extremely undervalued out here. I don't know if y'all think that or not, but I think we are extremely undervalued out here. And I think people wonder why there's still a shortage of drivers out here, because I think we're extremely undervalued. The thing about it though is I still enjoy doing this. I enjoy driving a truck. I enjoy backing it up. All of that fun stuff. I enjoy that part of everything. It's all the other stuff that comes with it that I don't, that it's not less, it's not that fun. But the other stuff is, driving the truck and backing it up, and all those things that I record on my videos all the time, those are the things I love to do. Of course, there's probably some points where I probably should record things that I don't like, so that you can see what I'm talking about when it comes to things that I don't like about truck driving and the lifestyle of it. Feel free to cut me off at any time and ask questions or whatever. I'm just kind of ranting, I guess. I don't know. I'm a talking head right now. That's basically what I am. But like one of the biggest examples, judge me if you will. I tried, but whatever. Was this week, right? I left my home on Monday to come to work. I took a shower before I left home, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was not able to stop anywhere for the night, during break, whatever I was doing, to take a shower. I just didn't have the time in between getting to the loads that I needed to get to and where I needed to, and the deliveries where I needed to go. There's not enough time to take a shower. 30-minute break is not enough time to take a shower for me, not out here. Like by the time you get all your shit together and get into the shower and then get out, you're not going to be able to do that in 30 minutes. You probably can, but it's going to be a pain in the ass, right? So finally today, I had some extra time and decided that, okay, instead of a 30-minute break, I can afford today to take an hour break so that I can take a damn shower, because I had not been able to do it for the past 4 days. That's just some of the stuff that, that you deal with out here that's like just kind of annoying, where it's like, I don't know, for some of us, I don't know, depending on your hygiene level and how much you care about it, you might take a shower every day. You might be used to taking a shower every single day. Or at least maybe every other day, I don't know, right? But for me, I'm on that kind of level. Like I'm used to, I love to be clean, and I love to smell good. I don't like to smell bad. I don't like to feel ugly or nasty. And one of the things that's come out here in trucking has been, I've had to deal with that. I know that sounds like stupid, and I know that probably sounds stupid. It probably sounds like really what's the word I'm looking for? Like really, it might emasculate. It might make me look like a pansy, I guess. That it's like, oh, you're getting mad because you can't take showers. Like, be a fucking man and smell. But but that's the thing. That's kind of the things that you have to deal with out here. You don't know when you're going to be able to use the bathroom. You don't know when you're going to be able to take a shower. You don't know when you're going to be able to sit down and eat a meal. Like today, finally, like I got stopped at a good time. I don't have to pick up my load until tomorrow at 10 in the morning. And I decided to stop and get food today. Like, geez, Kazi, good to see you back, buddy. I'm doing good today. I'm doing very, very good today. I'm just talking again, like I said, I'm a talking head, so I'm just kind of sharing what I feel about different things and whatnot out here. But yeah, that was one of the things. Like this week, that's an example of things that can frustrate you and things that can stress you out. I'm in Fort Worth tonight. Just like, you want to take a shower, but you can't. There's just not a way to make it happen sometimes. Like, you just, you have to stop somewhere and that place doesn't have showers, or or you have to stop at a rest area because that's your last resort. Or you get stopped, or like the other night when I got stopped, when I had to stay overnight at Heinz in Michigan. Like, I had no choice. I had to stay there. There wasn't a truck stop anywhere nearby, so I had to stay there and wait for the load the next morning. So I'm lucky that they even had a porta potty outside, but I couldn't take a shower then. So it's like, geez. So I made it a point today. I'm gonna take an hour break and I'm gonna take a damn shower, because I am not going another day without taking a shower. And so I did. But that's the thing. It's like, man, like not being able to do that every day is like, I don't want to say every day. But on a more consistent basis is one of just tough things you have to deal with out here. And that's why I say, like, the things that we have to deal with out here, all of this and whatnot. And I feel like we're extremely undervalued out here. Like, I don't feel like we're as valued as we should be. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but that's how I feel about it. I don't know, y'all feel free to tell me how y'all feel about the industry or whatever, but that's kind of just how I feel about it, and that's why it's got me trying to see about like future prospects and stuff like that, about what direction I want to take this in, because I don't want to stop doing truck driving because I enjoy it. That's kind of one of my thoughts that I thought about. I'm still thinking about that. I'm still thinking that being an owner operator is probably gonna be one of the things I try to do. But I've just heard so many horror stories about it lately, and everybody's getting out of it. It seems people that have been in independent contractors are getting out of it, and they're going back to company driving again, and whatnot, and then just all the other stuff that comes with it, like financing, insurance, everything's on you. Your whole load boarding is on you. How you make your money, how you manage it. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of a tough part, I guess, about doing this. It's like most of the you're probably right about that, Hyper. I wouldn't. It sounds about right, honestly, because from all the things that I hear is that's all the things that I've ever heard is that it used to be so good, it used to be so this and so that, and now the industry is a watered down version of what it used to be. I believe that to a certain extent. I do think there's still a lot of value in trucking out here. I just don't think they value us. That's where they don't value us enough. I think that's where things get a little interesting. And now I don't want to say all companies are like that. Like I said, I think it's about finding that right company that values you as a person and a driver to maybe get what you're looking for. I'm not saying that MVT can't do that. I feel like they're doing the best they can. Companies like this, carriers like this, are doing the best that they can. But I don't know. Like all companies can only do so much. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like I feel like out here, like what we do out here when we have with all the stuff that that we have to do and whatnot out here, I feel like we shouldn't be getting paid anything less than like 70 to 80 cents a mile, I think, right, for what we do out here, because all the stuff that we have to put up with and whatnot, especially for the people that are out here doing over the road, even on a scale which I'm doing it right now. Like I'm not doing true over the road anymore, where I'm out, for 3 to 4 weeks at a time anymore. I'm only out 5 to 7 days now, and then I get to go home for a reset. But even at that, I'm still out here on the interstate highways and little small roadways, and going still across the country and back. It's just up and down now versus east and west and all that. But even at that, I still go through multiple states a week. And like a lot of us out here, like, man, a lot of us out here are putting our lives on the line and our everything. We're putting everything on the line out here to try and get something out of this. And I feel like they could do a little bit more to give us what we, what I think we deserve as truck drivers out here. And I mean, everything is earned. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking for handouts. But I feel like if you do a good job, you bust your ass out here, you should get rewarded for it. And those rewards are tough to come by. If the rewards are offered, they're offered on like the most, like, almost, I don't want to say unattainable, but attaining them is like, good Lord, like how do I even do that? Or how does that even happen? Like, how do I achieve that so that I can get a bonus, or so that I can get, extra pay. Like, good Lord. Okay. All right. I guess, you're basically telling me I have to be 100% perfect all the time, or I don't get nothing than what I normally get. And so those kinds of things are like not really incentives to make you feel like, all right, you're being taken care of very, very well. Not to say like, that these companies don't offer good pay, but man, it just seems like it's very hard to come by these days, and it's very hard to get those, and you almost have to be like tenured in order to get those kinds of things and whatnot. That's why I'm like, I don't know if busting my ass out here the way that I do it right now is the good long-term situation for me. I think I'd much rather scale it down, be able to be home every day, and find a different way to supplement income, I guess, right? Like if I need to supplement income, I can supplement it plenty of different ways if I'm at home. You can't really supplement income that much if it can't really like do a lot of secondary things when you're in this thing all the time, right? You can't have any side hustles or anything like that when you're in this thing. Although I guess YouTube would be is a side hustle, but let's be honest. Unless you're like one of the big timers, you're not making a lot of money on this platform. You're just making like peanuts, and that's me right now. I'm not making enough where I could say I'm gonna go YouTube full time, or YouTube is my second job, because I barely make anything on this platform. I'm grateful to make something on it, but I don't make enough to be like, yeah, like this is my true side hustle. Now that could change, right? I mean, I don't know. Only time will tell if subscriber count goes up and view counts go up and everything. Maybe I am able to swing this into legitimate, good side hustle. But once again, in order to have a good side hustle, you have to have the time and to be able to do that. And out here, when you're doing this like the way that I'm doing it right now, you just don't. This is your main life here. Everything else is secondary. Even your personal life at home is secondary. It shouldn't be, but it does. It becomes secondary because you're in here most of the time. So this box is your life. So that's why I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that long term. Especially for like, like if the big money isn't in my future, without looking at it like 3 or 4 years down the road, then we got to talk about it. We got to look at it a little bit more deeper. Then that makes sense. But being a trainer, there is money to be made there, but man, that's another one where I'm like, I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet. I'm still young, and I don't feel like putting my life in other people's hands yet. maybe when I'm 50, maybe when I'm like in my 50s, and I won't care as much if something happens while I'm not in control, and then that's it. That ends up being it. Maybe then I'll feel a little bit more comfortable being a trainer at that point. But right now I'm like, I have a lot of life I'd like to live, and I don't know if I want to put that in the hands of somebody else. That can go wrong, that something can go wrong with them at any time, and you know what I mean. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for that responsibility just yet, right? We'll see. Maybe in a couple years, I could look into that. I've also kind of thought like maybe in a couple of years. Now, whether or not there's actually good money to be made here or not, that's the question. But maybe in a couple of years, I was actually maybe thinking about becoming like an instructor, like a CDL instructor, like the ones that I had at Crowder, or like those kinds of guys. Like be an instructor, teach people how to drive these things, and teach them how to drive them the right way. Really make sure that they can get good out of a program, And doing that, I mean, we're in a controlled environment most of the time. I feel like I'd be comfortable with that. Of course, I don't know what the pay is like with these different at these different schools and whatnot, but that would also be another option for being at home all the time and still being able to be around around trucks and whatnot and stuff like that. So that's something that I could look at. I mean, I need a couple more years under my belt before I'd be taken seriously as an instructor. But that's something that I'm thinking about maybe as I reach into my 40s and whatnot. Like, I think I could be an instructor, and I think I'd be pretty good at it. I'd love to teach. I love to teach people things, and I love to, especially if they care about it too, then it makes me want to teach you, want to put in more effort to teach you how to do something. And so I wouldn't mind becoming an instructor someday. Well, Kazi, I'll tell you this. If you ever do open up a CDL school, talk to me. I would love to be an instructor someday. And if you're serious about that and you ever get that rolling, hit me up. I wouldn't mind being a teacher if you would have me. That would be something I'd want to try for sure. At some point. We'll see. Only time will tell if it actually happens or not, but we'll see. Excuse me. Sorry, I ate tacos tonight, so I got a little bit of the burpees, but we're good. Oh my god! But otherwise, it's been a good week. I mean, I've had a good time out here this week, and I felt really, really good. I was able to work on a video and pumped it out pretty quickly. That's the video that I just got out earlier this morning. So that was cool to be able to get back to work on editing and stuff like that, and filming. And I just felt like I wanted to get back into the groove of things. I wanted to get back into the groove of things this week, and I did, on all aspects of it, on driving, on YouTubing and editing and whatnot. I got everything that I wanted to get done this week. I got it done, and I feel so good about that. There's only one thing left to get done, and that's to get a good night's sleep. So that's what I'm going to get tonight. The last couple of nights of sleep have been kind of wishy-washy, but tonight I plan on knocking out here. As soon as I'm done talking with y'all here, I'm gonna hit the bed and get a good night's sleep, because I can afford to tonight. So that's why I'm like, I'm all, I showered up, I feel good. I successfully delivered 2 loads this week, and I felt really good about that. No problems. It's so good. I think so too. Like I said, I think that's the goal. I just don't know how long it's going to take me to get there. It's going to take me a while, unfortunately, because of where the industry's at and everything. It takes planning. And if I want to do that, I want to do it correctly. I don't want to mess this up if I do that, because then it's going to just kill everything for me if I don't do it right. Now, I understand some things don't work out and you have to be able to move on. But if once I do it, I want to be able to do it right. And I want to be able to do it right. That's basically the best way I can say it. I know you probably don't want to work for Swift, but if that's the only thing you can find, the one thing I can tell you at least about Swift is that they do have loads. You won't have to worry about miles or loads with Swift. They do have plenty of clientele, so you'll at least get your miles and stuff. I don't know what their pay is like, but I do know that you'll at least get your miles and your loads. Like I rarely hear bad things about Swift's like load board. I think their load board is pretty good. So I mean, there are worse places you could work for, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people like to talk shit about Swift and whatnot. What it comes down to at the end of the day is you, the person behind the wheel. If I worked for Swift, I wouldn't change how I drive now, how I do here with MVT and how I did at CFI. I wouldn't change anything. I just do the same thing. And if I do the same thing, I'm not going to have any problems. I'm not going to look stupid. I'm not going to look dumb or anything like that, because I pride myself on being a good driver. So I think it's about the person behind the wheel more than it is about the logo on the truck. Just my opinion. Training is training, and you get what you want to get out of training. If you feel like you're not getting what you want to get out of training, it's your responsibility to voice your opinion and make it known that you aren't getting good training. If you just decide to take bad training because you don't want to open your mouth, I think that's your fault at that point, right? A lot of people do that, unfortunately. Well, that's good, Kazi. I mean, that's what a lot of us are out here for, to get that experience. So if you can, then I mean, by all means, go after it, man. Get that experience and get moving. That's all I can say. You know, it doesn't matter who it's with, just get moving. Get out here and get moving. Get something under your belt. I was very fortunate to be able to get with CFI and go through their program, and now I'm here with MVT, and I'm still fortunate. And I'm very, very fortunate that because of all the work that I put in over the past year and everything, that I have all these different options that are open, and I can take it any direction I want at this point. So I'm at least grateful and happy about that. I'm going to take a drink here real quick because I'm thirsty. Oh, man. Sorry, I'm just thirsty. But I know it's a Friday night and people probably are out having fun and doing different things or whatnot, but I'm glad for those little of y'all that are here right now. I'm happy to have y'all here. I never really expect to have like 100 people up in here or anything like that. The smaller is the better, because we can be a little bit more like one-on-one with each other versus having like 100 people comment at the same time and you just can't keep up with anybody anymore. Oh, well, that's good, Kazi. So at least you'll have someone that can help you out with that, so that you can actually get started. So that's cool. Whew, man. Time is it right now? Just making sure, because what ends up happening on these things a lot of the time is I let time get away from me, and the next thing you know, I've been on here for like 2 hours. And I can't do that tonight, or else I'm gonna miss out on my sleep, and I don't want to do that. Man, where did I go this week? Started off in San Antonio. I went all the way up to Holland, Michigan, all the way right next to Lake Superior, and now all the way back down to San Antonio in a span of 5 days. It's crazy. I appreciate that. And you know, I am really trying to put out more content on a regular basis, like I had been at the beginning. I just kind of got into a rut, and I got into like I guess I got into like writer's block too. Like I was just didn't feel like it, you know, like I got kind of writer's block in video form. And it just got really hard for me to remember to record this, or oh, you should probably record this because that would actually be cool for people to see. And I just had mental lapses like that. So but going forward, I do plan on pumping out more videos on a consistent basis. I can't see myself turning into someone that does daily trucking videos, because I just can't do that every day. I can't. it's not in me. But I will say this. Let me backtrack that for just a minute. If I do end up going to local truck driving, then I might be able to do that every day, because I would be able to be home every day and would have a little bit of extra time. So it's possible that maybe I could do it even more on a consistent basis if I'm on local routes, but we'll see. But I do want to put out more content, more consistently. Like I have another video that I have that I need to work on probably tomorrow when I get home, that I want to pump out before the end of the weekend. So I have the footage all ready to go. I just need to edit it and whatnot. If you mean like for home time, there's MVT has a drop yard in San Antonio, and all I typically have to do is go and drop I can do one of two things with it, right? I have to take the trailer that I have and go drop it there, and then once I drop the trailer, I can either leave the truck there in the yard and find a way home. Usually I'll just call somebody to come and pick me up if I didn't drive to the yard. Then I'll either call somebody to come pick me up, like a family member or a friend, or sometimes I'll just drive the bobtail to my house and I'll park it in front of my house and I'll just leave it there until I'm ready to go back. Or I can just drive my personal vehicle to the yard and then leave it there in the yard. The only problem with doing that I found, and this is why I don't like doing it, is because it's a dirt yard. So I left my car there. And it got super, super dirty by the time I came back. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that anymore, because like I come back and it's full of dust. It's like, oh God. I was like, well, I guess I'm not gonna do that anymore. My bestie. We used to be, man, but that ship sailed a couple of years ago, and it is what it is. We don't talk anymore. Best thing that I can say is you get to know people sometimes, the real them, and you figure out that they aren't what they seem, or they aren't who they actually seem to be, that they're actually somebody completely different. And when shit hits the fan, they don't handle it with you how you would hope, kind of thing. That's the best thing I can say. I don't want to go into it too far, but but good for her. I'm glad she's doing well. Yeah, I tried to I tried to hit her up, a few years ago, to make amends, and she didn't want to. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I tried. That's all I can do. I'm not gonna get on my knees and beg people for anything ever. So I used to be like that, and it didn't get me anywhere but just making me look like a damn fool. So I don't like being made to look like a fool. So I don't let people do that to me anymore. Because really, honestly, I really am a nice guy. I don't have a mean bone in my body to be honest. But if you do rub me the wrong way, I'm not going to be your friend. That's the best way I can say it. Like, I'm not going to want to talk to you. I'm not going to want to be your friend. I'm not going to want to have you involved in my life at all, kind of thing. I can tell you that is the truth. But if that works for you, that's great. I just would hope that you would stay true to that and don't try to portray something that you're not. That's just me saying it. Take that for what it is. But but yeah, I don't beg people for anything these days. I've gotten over that thing. Once I got out of my 20s, I stopped being that way. I figure there's not enough time on this earth to waste it on people that don't matter, people that use you, people that don't really have your best interest at heart. It's not what you should waste and use your time on. You begin to attract people of your own kind of nature the less you seek them out, if that makes sense. The less you seek out the attention and the people, the actual more you get back in the ones that actually like matter and are actually like good people and stuff like that. Same thing here, man. Like I was the same way. I always, for the longest time, like I said, in all the way through my 20s, I always valued quantity over quality. I always thought, well, I have like 30 different friends, man. Like, I'm good to go, and we hang out and stuff like that. But when times started getting tough, and you really felt like you needed people there, those weren't the ones that were there, and those were the ones that they cut you off like that. And you figured out, like, man, after all these efforts and all the time that wow, this is how they really see me, and this is how they want to be. And that's where I had to learn, I mean, we all do sometimes, right? That it's better to have quality over quantity and to not reach out for things that don't matter, right? That's the best way that I had to learn, and the best way that I know it now is that, you can't overreach for things. You can't overreach, especially when it comes to people. You have to just be you, be happy with yourself, be happy with who you are as a person. And what'll happen is when you stop reaching out for anything, people start coming to you. People start coming into your life when you least expect it, or when you're not like reaching out and looking for it. And then those people are the ones that they become forever friends, or whatever, right? Like, those are the people that end up staying in your life forever, because they were attracted to what you had to offer. You weren't attracted to them when you know that they didn't have what you had at heart. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? That's how I feel nowadays. I don't feel like, this is why this is why personally I don't do things like Tinder and Bumble and all those other dating apps, or not even just dating, but like Hangout, like just looking for friends and whatnot. Like, there's apps where you can go and look for friends and stuff like that. I don't do stuff like that anymore, because I love the people that are around me now, because they mesh with me so well, and they understand me and they know me, and I'm just, it's comfortable that way. I don't like being uncomfortable. But I used to be like that too. I used to be like, I'm gonna go get all these friends, and I'm gonna go on multiple dates with different people, and I'm gonna just put myself out there, right? And the more you do that, the more you figure out that people just kind of suck, and you can't do that to yourself, because it's mentally draining. That's another thing. There's a lot of fake people on those things. Like they're not who they are. And some of them aren't even what they look like on their pictures. That's why I'm like, I can't do that. I can't. That's why I've always said, at least now, as in my older age now, when it comes to things like friendships and dating and stuff like that, like I'm just me. I'm just here, and if you organically like flow towards me, and we mesh well together, then I think that's how I work nowadays. This is probably the reason why I don't have a girlfriend right now, but it's okay because I don't want to reach out for something that is not obtainable, if that makes sense, right? I don't want to reach out to somebody because, oh, you're pretty. I think you're pretty. I think you're really pretty, or you're hot, or, whatever. And so I'm gonna go on like 10 dates with people to figure out who's the one, right? Like I don't do that kind of stuff anymore because it ain't worth my time to do that anymore. I value me. I value my time. I value who I am as a person. And if you organically end up flowing to me in some way or another, then that's how it'll happen. Otherwise, I'm not going to go out and look for a girlfriend. I'm not going to go out and look for more friends. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. If you come to me, then great. Kind of like y'all out here on this YouTube thing. I mean, let's be honest. I didn't ask you to come on here and jump on this stream with me today, but you did because you like to hear from me, and you think I'm a nice guy or whatever, or maybe you don't. Maybe you just think I'm funny or something, or funny looking. I don't know, but you came on here, right? So then we get talking, and it's that organic flow of I haven't even met you in person before, but I think you're a pretty cool guy. I think you're a pretty cool person. So yeah. It's easy that way. That's what I'm talking about when I say I don't reach out for things anymore. I don't like overextend myself for people or anything like that anymore. I just kind of let things fall as they fall. I still care. Don't get me wrong. I still care about people. I still care about the people that are in my life and everything like that. I care for them very, very dearly, and I always would give the shirt off of my back for any one of them. But I have to be careful these days because you never know who's just trying to get something out of you just because they know they can. And that's why I've had to learn the hard way sometimes that, not everyone is good at heart, and you have to be able to deviate those people from the good and the bad. So, but that's one thing that I will say that living in isolation actually helps with. Living in isolation actually helps you get more in tune with yourself. Once you're happy with who you are and what you're about and everything, then like I said, it's like you become this flower that just starts blossoming out, and it attracts people to you. You don't have to go and attract, and go and make them be attracted to you. They just naturally and organically come to you because of how you've bloomed on your own. Not because somebody else told you that you were good looking, or somebody else told you this is what you needed to do to be a better person or whatever. You just did it yourself. You just got more in tune with yourself. But that's what kind of living in isolation can do sometimes, is it can help you get more in tune with yourself, and that's how I look at things nowadays. And I'm good with it. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with me. I'm always looking to improve too. That's the other thing that's good, that I feel like is good about me, is that I'm always looking to improve at something. Personal life, professional life. I'm always looking to improve on something, and I never feel like I will ever be a complete. I always will feel, no matter what age that I am at, that I can improve in some way or another. So I think that's a good trait to have too. Ooh, huh? I don't know like that. Huh. That's kind of sad to hear that, because that just means that that person sounds like they probably deal with some insecurity, and so they feel like they have to talk about things, they have to gossip because they're probably insecure about themselves or something, or they're jealous, or they have some kind of jealousy towards you, but they like you, but they're jealous of you somehow maybe, or they have some massive insecurity. People that do that kind of stuff are massively insecure and about themselves. So if they see that somebody else, even if it's a friend or whatever, you know, that's having some success or that's doing good in life, or maybe not even professional success, just like you see them and they're just happy, and you sometimes can be jealous of that person of being happy. So some people will resort to deciding, well, you know what, I'm gonna bring them down a peg by talking behind their back and saying he's pretentious, or he's kind of a douchebag because he thinks he's above everybody, when that's not even the truth. But it makes that person feel less insecure when they can kind of bring you down to their level. That's what I'm saying. People suck sometimes. Even the people that you think that, oh, they're good people. Then you get down into the roots, and then you're like, ooh, maybe not so much. And that's where you have to be able to know how to read that and then just push them aside. There's a lot of people in this world that let people linger, and once you let people linger in your life long enough, they start sucking the life out of you, and they suck out your happiness, and they suck out your peace. And then, you know, like, you don't need, like, those are the kind of people you don't need. You don't need leeches. That's a good way to put it. Don't let people leech onto your life. You know, let people come and be a part of it, that want to be a part of it, that want to grow with you and together. The best friends that I have are all people that we root for each other. We enjoy each other's time. If we say anything behind each other's backs, it's good stuff, you know? I always talk about my friends to other friends in nothing but positive ways. I always tell, you know, because some of my friends that I hang out with, we all don't hang out together, if that makes sense, right? Like sometimes I have friends that haven't hung out with my other friends that I have, but I'll talk to them about them, right? I'll tell my other friend that, hey, you know, my friend here in Dallas, like, I hung out with him the other day, and he's a really cool guy, and he's really, and he's got this going on, like, let me tell you about it real quick. That's how I talk about my friends with other friends. I positivity with them, man. I say they're doing great, they're doing cool, I wish you could meet them someday. Those are the kinds of things I say about friends and family and stuff like that. I mean, family, you know, depending on the day. Family can't be perfect all the time, you know, so you do have to kind of say some things about your family sometimes, but yeah, you know, but I would give the shirt off of my back to anybody that I care about, and that's the kind of person that I am. And so it takes a very special kind of person to just completely bring me down and make me feel like shit. And there's been quite a few of them that have done that to me before in the past. And to those people, I say, I hope you're living a good life. Because you were pretty miserable when I knew you. Oh, man. But that's life, right? That's what we all have to deal with. That's how the cookie crumbles, right? Joe. I see what you did there. Hey, I'm back. Sorry. I see what you did there, welcome gamers. You got good jokes. You got dad jokes. I like it. Did that person literally just come on and say a dad joke and then take off? I respect it. If that's what actually happened, I respect it. Whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you whatever helps you pass the time and makes you feel good, that's fine. It's funny. No, I did not, and that's probably because I don't think YouTube allows you to put things like that on there, and I wouldn't want you to put that on this thing anyways, because I don't know how many people you want getting a hold of that. But if you want to give me your phone number, if that's what you're referring to, just give it to me on Instagram. I don't know if you have Instagram or not, or email it to me. My email is I think it's on the description of things. If not, I can type it in here real quick. Okay, because it's not. I created it a while back. I think it's JT the Trucker Guy at gmail.com. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, just email me that way it's not over here in public. Not that we have like 10,000 people on the stream or anything like that, but I don't want you to put your number in the ether there. That is the World Wide Web. But yeah, hit me up anytime, man. Or as soon as I get it, I'll text you, and then you can hit me up anytime, man. I'm usually available most of the days, and one of these days, we'll hang out and we'll talk at length about different things and whatnot. I like to talk. But yeah, Kazi, you're right. It is bedtime. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here too myself and get some sleep. It's about 10 o'clock, so hopefully I'll get a good 8 hours in. That's what I'm looking to get. So yeah, you have a good night, Kazi. We'll talk soon. Thanks for joining as usual, and I'll see y'all down the road.